reunified all of the students with their parents.
All right, thank you very much.
So I was working from home when I saw probably 100 kids running down the street. At first, I'll be honest, I thought it was gym class, and I noticed some kind of distressed looks on their faces. So I came out to the balcony. My neighbor was already out on the balcony. She's the one that alerted me that there was a school shooting going on, and she told me that she thought there was someone shot down by the mailbox. So I ran down here, and sure enough, there was a young man here with a bullet wound in the back. He was with a friend who was applying pressure to his back, and a teacher. At the time when I got here, the teacher had a phone and she was calling the student's mom. She was able to connect with his mom and tell him he was okay. I dialed 911. The first thing the 911 operator told me was to take cover, to get to cover. So his friend and I helped him up. He was conscious, he was able to walk.
Where was that?
It happened right here. They were sitting on the lawn here. And so we picked him up. We carried him, or we helped him walk about two houses, and he needed to rest. So he sat down on the grass, just a couple houses down, maybe for 30, 60 seconds. We got him up, got him into my backyard, and then slowly we got him up my steps into the kitchen. At that point, the 911 operator asked me to pick up his shirt and see if there were two holes. So when I did, I found there was only one hole. And the young man that was with him, true hero, he stayed with him the whole time and applied pressure. By the time I lifted up his shirt, the hole that was in his back had already stopped bleeding. So he is a true friend, a true hero. And so I told the 911 officer, or 911 operator, that they told me that it could be a while until an ambulance gets there and to shelter in place. So at that point, I left the two boys there, ran outside. I found a police officer, and he was able to help me flag down an ambulance. We got the ambulance in front of the house, and then the ambulance driver and I ran up. We got the young student and helped him into the ambulance at that time, and get him, shipped off to the hospital. So the whole thing happened probably within 5-10 minutes. It was very fast, very chaotic. But again, he never lost consciousness. He was, he could talk. He was very hard to, it was hard for him to breathe. So I didn't ask him, a lot of people asked if I asked him questions about the shooting or how it happened, and I didn't. I just, asked him if he was all right. At one point, he even joked and said he's really starting to feel it. But we got him in the ambulance. Within 10 minutes from when I found him, and they got him over to the hospital. I have no idea how he's doing. When I saw the kids coming down the street, I came out to the balcony. My neighbor was out on her balcony already. She's the one who told me that there was a shooting in progress down the street, and she thought that a student was shot and down by the mailbox. So I came down these stairs, I ran to the mailbox, and sure enough, there was a student there that was shot. He was with a friend who was applying pressure at the time, and he was also with a teacher who was calling the student's mother. She was able to connect with the mother and let the mother know that the son was okay, and I dialed 911. The first thing the 911 operator told me was to find shelter. So we immediately, his friend and I, picked up the student, helped him. We walked about 2 houses down. He needed to rest, so we sat down for about 60 seconds. We got him back up, and then we carried we helped him, assisted him into my backyard first. Then we came up the steps here and carried him into the house, where he just sat down right here on the floor, couldn't go any further. So we got him on the floor. His friend continued to apply pressure while I talked to the 911 operator. At this point, the 911 operator asked me to lift up his shirt to see if there were 2 holes. There was only one hole, an entry wound, and at that time, his friend was applying pressure so well that it had already stopped bleeding. So the 911 operator told me it could be a long time before an ambulance gets here. So I left them, ran outside. I found a police officer. He helped me flag down an ambulance. We got the ambulance here right away, and we were able to help assist him into the ambulance and then get him sent off to the hospital. I'm sure it was shock. I'm sure it was adrenaline. I was very surprised at how calm both of them were. They were talking to each other. His friend stayed with him the entire time, never left the pressure or took the pressure off his back. It was a pretty amazing sight. So the entire time I was talking with the 911 operator, kind of following their instructions, he was communicating with them, making sure he was okay, kind of shifting him to make sure he was comfortable. It was pretty impressive to watch the two young men.
Have you ever been in a high pressure situation like this before?
No.
Were you at all surprised at the way you reacted?
You know, it happened fast, and it was really instinct. Truly at that moment, they both were my kids, and I was just going to do what I needed to do to help them out, and that's it. That was the motivation behind it. So,
when you describe them as your kids, I imagine very quickly your brain, your mind went to your young kids.
Oh, the entire time. They had called me once they were able to, so I connected and talked to them when they were still at the school, and just hearing their voices obviously was an amazing thing. So,
by then, did they know your role?
They did. Some folks had, I think, seen it and communicated to them. It was kind of videos were getting passed around. So, they told me great job, and they were proud of me. So that was pretty nice.
I bet that makes you feel very good.
It does.
Authorities do not have any information as to whether any of the victims were targeted and have not released a possible motive. The two suspects could be charged as adults. Danya Backus, ABC News, Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Good morning to you, Janae. Good morning to you, Kenneth. At least two students are still in serious condition this morning. One of those suspects is being evaluated at a hospital as this community grapples with this deadly school shooting. Good morning to you. We are live right in front of the STEM school here in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. This morning, at least two students are still in serious condition. One of the two suspects is being evaluated at a local hospital. This as this community grapples with that deadly shooting. And authorities do not have any information as to whether the victims were targeted, and they have not released a possible motive. Reporting live this morning, Danya Backus, ABC 7 News. Good morning, Jessica. We are hearing from parents and students who experienced pure panic during yesterday's shooting. Many who cannot believe that 20 years after Columbine, they are yet dealing again with another deadly school shooting.